All right, so first things first, when it comes to importing your database, we want to get it formatted correctly, okay? Now, the good news is that this means a lot less than it has in the past when it comes to uploading your database to CRMs. When it typically comes to uploading your database to a CRM, a lot of the times you have to upload a CSV or an Excel file in a very specific format with the fields labeled very specifically. That is not the case. You're going to see why, not in this section, but in the next, or I'm sorry, not in this module, but in the next module within this section. You're not going to see why until then exactly, but just know it's easy. It's pretty easy. You get the flexibility to map whatever, map also means match, to match any of these fields that are on the screen here, right? These columns, you get the opportunity to match any of those to the fields that exist inside the account. So what we're going to do is we're going to format your spreadsheet, right? We're going to format your database, and then we're going to make sure that the fields that we want exist inside of the HighLevel account that we're importing to, so that we have somewhere to put all of this information, okay? So first things first, okay? What you do need is a header row, okay? And what is a header row? A header row is your row that defines which row defines your column labels, basically, okay? And so what we see here is we see this particular lead export has a initial row dedicated to just one thing that says lead information here. And this is what HighLevel is going to automatically read as your header row. And so if I were to upload this right now, it would not recognize any of my columns. So what do I need to do? I need to make sure that I have a header row. So I'm going to do that by deleting these two columns that don't mean anything. Or rows, sorry, got to get my language right. Rows, I'm going to delete these two rows that don't mean anything. And then I've got this one right here. And just out of preference, I'm going to bold this to make it a little bit easier for me to see that that's the header. And then I'm going to freeze up to row 1. I don't know if that's necessary. But again, this is how I typically am going to do this. Okay. Then I'm going to spread out some of these questions. Okay. And start seeing, what are we working with here? What are we working with? Okay. Remember, in our module about custom fields, we talked about the necessity to define the types of fields that you want, right? Depending on what you want to be able to do with that information later. So what we have here, this first row, just says, let's get your home loan and questions answered. That doesn't exactly tell us what that is. It says, I want to buy a home. I want to refinance my home. Okay. So what this is a purchase versus refinance question within the lead form. So, and I could tell that also because the questions that they answer are different. Okay. So what am I going to do? I'm going to format these differently because I do have an option I do want to have an option inside my account, inside of my HighLevel account. I do want to have a custom field that says, what type of lead was it? Was it a purchase or a refinance lead? Okay. But I wouldn't express it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Control F. I'm going to say, I want to buy a home. Okay. And I'm going to say, replace with purchase, and I'm going to say replace all. Boom. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing with refinance. I want to refinance my home. Replace with refinance and replace all. Boom. So now I do not have those silly fields, right? It's just purchase or refinance, which is a completely normal field, right? When you set up your CRM, if you do any sort of lead gen, you're going to say lead type as one of those questions, purchase or refinance. Okay. Next one, what type of property are you looking to buy? So here's what I'm going to simplify this, because when I go to map these, I don't want to look when I go to match these with the fields that I'm putting them in, I don't want to look at this long, what type of property you're looking to buy. How will this home be used? What is your current, I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and go in here, property type. I don't need to be too clean with it, but this is going to be property use. Okay. And then I'm scrolling through, making sure everything looks okay. Okay. All right. So it looks like I've got a couple different options as far as the field type for these, but we'll go over that. We'll go over that next. We won't worry about that right this minute. All right. What is your current credit score? Right. So I'm going to change this to credit score. First time buyer question mark, right? So I'm taking the text that's in here, I'm reading it. Where are you in the home buying process, right? What do I want to call this? Is this purchase timeline? Again, what you call these at this point doesn't really matter. That's why I'm leaving them all lowercase. That's why I'm not like thinking too hard about it, because all I'm trying to do is make them easy for me to identify later. So this is going to be, all right, price range of homes you've been looking at. So what is this? This is purchase price, right? In layman's terms, that's what it is. What's the most you're comfortable paying per month, right? This is max monthly payment. What's your employment status? Employment status, right? How much is your gross, boom, monthly income, right? I want to specify monthly. I don't want to just say income, because maybe I have an annual income field inside my account and I need to know that this is monthly, obviously, right? If needed, how much money can you come up with a down payment and or closing costs? So this is like down payment savings, right? Down payment sources, right? So I'm just doing this to make it easier to map, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a minute. Have you filed for bankruptcy or had a short? Okay, so BK, question mark. Military service, right? And then again, these are no military service. Yes, I or my spouse served. Okay, I don't want it like that. I want yes or no for this question. So I'm going to go no military service. I'm going to say replace with no. Replace all. Okay. Then I'm going to go like this. Yes, I or my spouse served. I'm going to copy it, right? There we go, copy. And then I'm going to paste it. Replace with yes, and replace all. Okay. That one didn't happen because I had the cell clicked, so I'm just going to do that one manually. I'll go boom, and we're good. Done. So those are yes or no's now. Are you working with a real estate agent? Working with agent. Location. What is your full name? Is actually first name. Again, I know that because I'm looking at this. Our last name's right there, right? Here, I'm going to make sure that you guys can't see emails or phone numbers. Okay. What is your full name? So again, this is last name. And I know that by looking at these and say, oh, okay, so it wasn't, again, this is just how when you export leads, this is just how it is. This is why nobody stays on top of this, is because they don't take the time to do this step of like normalizing, what they call normalizing this data and making sure that it fits inside your CRM the way that you want it to. So we're here. All right, looks good. Location, first name, last name. What is this? Email, phone, source, date. Perfect. Okay, so all of that is done. Now my next task is to identify what the field types I want, what the field types are of the fields that I want these to go to. Okay, so for example, credit score. Do I want that to be a number? Right? This is obviously kind of a multiple choice situation, intervals of 10, right? So do I want that? Do I want to represent all of these this way, or do I want to be able to sort them later? Do I want to do I want to be able to say, show me everybody with a credit score less than this number, an estimated credit score less than this number? Do I want to be able to do that? If I do, then I need to make this a number, and this is not a number. It is two numbers with some text in it. So it has to be a legitimate number, right? That the computer can read as a number in order to function that way, in order to function in such a way that you can sort by or filter by or anything like that, going less than or greater than. This is how you have to convert these into actual numbers. And so again, that I'm probably going to go in here. I'm going to say Control F, right? What do we got? 730 to 739. And let's say I want to estimate low. Replace with 730. Okay. And I'm going to go boom. Okay. Notice how it justified to the right of the cell. All of these are at the left. All these are at the right. That's how numbers work in Google Sheets and Excel and numbers, whatever you're using. That's how it works. If it recognizes it as a number, it's going to write justify versus whatever your text formatting for that cell is. So now we know we're in business. Now we know we've got a number, right? 750 to 760. Okay. I want to estimate low, 750. Boom. 580 or less. Estimate low, I'm going to go 579. 760 or higher. Estimate low, I'm going to go 760. Okay, now we have the credit score turned into a number, normalized as I would call it, right? All of this stuff is now a number. All these are now a number, which means I'll be able to sort my clients by credit score. I'll be able to filter my clients and the actions that I want them to take in HighLevel by credit score. Super, super valuable step to do. Now you would do the same thing with purchase price, right? Monthly payment, monthly income. We would do that same thing. And I'm not going to do that on camera. I will do it. And then I'm going to jump back in and we're going to show what these fields look like inside of HighLevel. So we're going to make sure that we have all the custom fields that we need to catch these. And then we're going to do the upload. All right. So for right now, I'm shutting this down. I'm going to normalize the rest of the data off camera, and then we'll come back when I'm done. All right, I'm about halfway through normalizing this data. I've normalized most of the numbers in here. You'll notice where there were ranges before, there now are actual dollar amounts. Now, what I wanted to do, I wanted to check in. I'm not quite done yet, but I wanted to check in because this is something that I think everybody's going to benefit from. When it comes to the text fields, you have options. If these fields consist of the same 5 or 6 or even 7 or 8 or 10 values, you may want to define all of those values inside of HighLevel. For example, if I come in here to property type, it's obvious that this was a multiple choice question, right? It's obvious that this comes from a multiple choice question on a lead form. So do I want to pass this in as just text? Or do I want to define the question inside of HighLevel as being multiple choice, a multiple choice option, and define what all those options are, and then have them pass in as those options? So what would that look like if I wanted to do that? Well, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I don't have too many options in here. So I'm going to create a filter. And when I do this, it's going to show me all of my options here. Okay, everything that it saw. So we've got blanks, we've got double lines, which obviously is another blank. Then we've got existing single family home, lot land, manufactured mobile home, right? How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 total options. I'm definitely going to define those in HighLevel because I may want to create a survey that replicates this later on. I may want to run filters and do things based on which option people selected. It keeps it cleaner. It makes it a little bit more straightforward if you are setting up your fields in HighLevel to match as close as you can what the fields were when those leads were generated. So do I want multiple choice or do I want to make this a single line field? It's up to you. The easiest way to do it would definitely be go single line, and you're just putting it in. You're just putting the text that's there into an empty text field. When you do this, you'll be able to filter. You will just have to define exactly what you want that field to say. So you would just have to type in, if you wanted to filter, you would say, show me something that exactly matches existing single family home. Show me all the leads where property type exactly matches existing single family home. And you'd be able to do it that way versus selecting it as an option from multiple choice. So just for the sake of showing you guys what I'm talking about here, I'm going to do this as a drop down and not a radio. You know what? Either one of these works. All right, so I'm going to do this as a radio select, field name, property type, and then I'm going to make sure it's in the lead submission info group, right? That's the group that I want it in. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to copy and paste the options to make sure that they match perfectly, right? Because that's the point of going through this, is defining exactly what the options can be. Townhome condo, new construction, add an option, tab over to my spreadsheet. What else do I got? I got multifamily. I got manufactured mobile. Do I already have that one? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have one more that I need. What I got? Townhome condo. Nope. New construction, multifamily, existing. What's the other one? Let's see. Lot/land, right? Oh, there we go. Lot/land. That's the last one. Okay. So those are the options. And then I can say allow custom values if I want to. And what this will do is it'll make it so that if I decide that I want, to pass leads from another source into here, and I want to use the same property type field, it'll actually add the options as they come in. Like if it gets a new option, maybe it says single family instead of existing single family home, it'll just add single family as an option. And it can get a little messy if you do that, but I'm typically going to do that instead of just making it make that information not come through because it didn't find that as an option. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Boom. And there's my property type field. Okay. So I'm going to do this with any of these, right? So I can go back to here. I'm going to do this with any of these, right? Purchase timeline. This looks like the same thing, right? Employment status. This looks like the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right. So this is what it should look like when you're done. Okay. If I go into custom fields, I've created fields for each column in here. I've decided what format I want the field to be in, and I've stuck to that. I've normalized my spreadsheet, my database, in order to make sure that it would fit within that, right? And so what does that look like? That looks like a bunch of radio, right? Radio means multiple choice. Looks like a bunch of radio options where I define exactly what the values are going to be. And it looks like some monetary fields, right? What does monetary mean? Monetary is money, right? So I've defined these monetary fields as a way to make sure that I have the ability to compare, the ability to filter later. And I'll show you that as well. So all of these are in here. There should be, let's go back here. Lead submission, we got 14 total. So there should be another few over here. I've got a date field for date lead received. I've got radio options for my yes or no questions. This is what they look like inside, right? Yes or no. All right, now once I've done all of this, I am ready to upload my database. So stay tuned, make sure you check into the next module. Let's get that database uploaded.